Show. Bring it.
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is
It is their right. Yes.
Unlike the right that someone has, all of our rights exist in context.
What is the context for second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Hi there. Welcome to the Freddie Kissoon Show. This is the Monday evening edition of the Freddie Kissoon Show. And as you would know, a few months ago, this is the call-in edition. We have changed from Friday to Mondays. Leonard Craig is supposed to be here. Whenever he comes, he will slip in. If he doesn't come, I will hold the fort. My number is 614-5927. Call me and we'll talk. When Craig comes, we'll switch over to Craig WhatsApp number. I don't have a WhatsApp phone. Or I have a phone, but it doesn't have WhatsApp facilities in it. So call in and let's talk about anything. But I think you know, Guyana produced one of the most unique election results the past 100 years in any part of the world. So let's start with our topic. We have a topic. You don't necessarily have to stick to the topic, but we would like to probe your mind as to what you think. Our topic today is, what do Asha Kissoon and Vincent Alexander have in common? And in fact, when we do the outline, or when I do the analysis, you may find that they do have a few things in common, or one particular thing in common. So let's start with Asha Kissoon. As you would know, and you should know, when laws are made hundreds of years ago, when laws are made 50 years ago, when laws are being made right now, they are made in a generalized, general, all-embracing way. Laws are not made in specific context. Let's take this call. Good evening.
Hi, Mr. Kissoon.
Yeah?
Good evening.
You have a bad connection, so something is wrong with your phone. It's making a lot of noise.
I have one up here. Optional and a fan.
Hello?
Yeah, I have a no TV and I'm here.
Anyway, there was some noise just now. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Could you advise me, like for the Child Protection Agency in Guyana, how much and how are we ready?
How much what?
Child Protection Agency.
What about it?
Like for kids.
What about it? What's it you want to know?
Yeah, like the locations where they distributed.
What? I'm not getting you clearly. What?
Okay.
What is it you want to know? Go slowly and tell me what is it you want to know. What is your question?
My question is Child Protection Agency.
You said Child Protection Agency 5 times. What about the Child Protection Agency you want to know about?
Yeah. Could you educate me where they're located in Guyana?
No, honestly, I don't know. I would think that's part of the ministry. It's part of Dr. Vinja Prasad ministry, social protection. But I would like to think somewhere there, someone that is in charge of it is located in that ministry. But I don't know where. That's what I think it's in. It's part of the Ministry of Social Protection. As to whether there's a separate department, honestly, I don't know.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Yeah, that was the first call and interrupted me with my preamble, but the calls take priority. So, the topic is, what do Asha Kissoon and Vincent Alexander have in common? Now, let's start with Asha Kissoon. And I was interrupted when I was telling you how laws are made in ancient times, and laws will always be made. Laws are made in generalized way. There are specific laws. And even when it's specific laws, there's a generality to it. For example, there's laws concerning mining, there's law concerning the environment, but it's for the general environment, it's for general mining. It's not a law for a mining company alone. So laws are made in general ways. And they are man-made laws, and they are a type of law that is more important than man-made laws. Or if you want, you could say equally important as man-made laws. But I would say they are more important than man-made laws. Those are moral laws. If we do not follow moral laws, there can be no civilization. And civilization have continued to exist because they are moral laws. I'll just give you a very, very simple common example of moral laws. If a spouse is cheating on their spouse, and the spouse look through the window and see, you try, the natural reaction of the person is not to appear in the open or to hide. Let's take this call. Good evening. Good evening.
Hi. I am a little concerned and very upset about your last program with Sharon Asha and the pandits, the so-called pandits. Is Sharon reading his mind? Is he saying what he's saying is truth, or something is wrong with Sharon? I'm talking about Muhammad, is a guy with a degree from the University of Guyana.
Look, he said that, and I did tell him that was not so. Is your guest, you have to observe some protocol. I couldn't shout at him. I couldn't tell him he's talking nonsense.
Okay, I understand. I observe protocol, but does that mean that we have to swallow the nonsense that some of these guests are?
Well, you don't have to swallow a guest's nonsense, but you don't also have the right to prevent the guests from saying what they believe in. I mean, the guests who will come.
It's not about preventing anyone. I'm a viewer of your program, and I have been a viewer of your program, or many of your programs, all the programs are like that, right? But does that mean that they have to swallow the nonsense that are coming out there being spewed by Sharon Asha because he's bitter right now?
Well, I don't know. I can't answer that in the way you would want me to. Some people may find what he says comical. Some people may find what he says not worthy of a reply. But if you take offense of that, that is your right. That doesn't mean the host of the program should. That is not our mandate to to prevent people from saying what they say. What I have done as one of the hosts is to correct him. If he accepts that correction or not, I don't know. But I did what I'm supposed to do. I didn't know.
My dear brother Freddie, you have sometimes been aggressive in addressing things, and you have been too nonchalant sometimes.
Well, again, that's neither here nor there. Some people say you're too aggressive. You must tone it down. Look, in this world, there are 8 billion opinions. I you're expressing your opinion. Saul, I'm listening to you, and thousands of people are listening to you. I think I did what I should have done in telling Charandas. Mr. Mohammed didn't.
You allow what you call intellectual being to rule the goose that night.
Pardon me? Yeah, I allow what? Hello? Hello? I didn't get that last part. Allow intellectual, but that is what happens. People, he called in, he gave his opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that I should subscribe and change my attitude based on. And I've always said to my daughter when she was growing up, and I've always said this to people when I entered university, if you alter what you believe in, or you alter your approach to life based on what people say, you will end up either dead or either clinically, psychologically disheveled, because there are 8 billion people in the world, and some people will tell you don't wear that kind of shirt. Some people tell you don't speak like that. Some people tell you you're wrong about United States, you're wrong about Putin. Don't talk about Putin like that anymore. Don't talk about the United States like that anymore. So it's 8 billion people, 8 different opinions. So you've got to know what you have to do. The man was, the caller was annoyed. He was annoyed at what Sharon said, and he's asking me if he has to stomach what Sharon said. I have no host in the world, in the past or present, would have the control of what people say, and therefore you have a responsibility to protect people from what the host say. That is scientifically impossible. What you can do is correct the guest, or tell the guest that they're wrong. As to a viewer viewing something and feel offended, well, all you have to do is say sorry, the person felt offended, but there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. I've been doing this program for 3 years, and if I bother with what people tell me how to conduct this program, I would run mad, because some people tell me don't have Gildari on the program, don't have Leonard Craig in the program, don't have this kind of guest on the program. And if you listen to them, you wouldn't have a guest. We would not have had Leonard Craig. We would not have had Gildari. In my best judgment, Gildari is one of the finest journalists Guyana produced, and I'm quite happy to have had him. And I think Leonard Craig is a fine intellectual with a fine analytical mind. So go on Facebook and go on YouTube and look at the comments on the hundreds of programs we have done. If you listen to those comments and reshape your approach, you're going to end up stark staring mad. That's because there are 8 billion people out there with their different opinions. Anyway, Leonard Craig is here. You can call his WhatsApp number. I will take off my phone now, because it's best to have one phone. So, Leonard, you just do this, right? Right?
Yeah.
Good. So my phone is off. So it's best to have one phone. Now, I got 2 calls that... Operator, please take off my number off the phone, off the screen.
No, leave it.
Yeah, it wouldn't ring anyway. So, I got 2 calls that interrupted my preamble, and that is how laws are made and trying to campaign what Asha Kissoon did with what Vincent Alexander is doing now. So, I was at the point when I was interrupted by saying, but you can still call, the calls take precedent, that I believe moral laws are more important than man-made laws, because moral laws strikes at who we are as civilized people. You know how there's no moral law that says that compels someone that they must recognize the equality of male and female. But the moral law is so strong that if you don't subscribe to that, then could we survive when you say that a woman, is not of the same quality of a man? I mean, why? So moral laws are, to me, more important than man-made laws. And what Asha Kissoon did was an unpardonable violation of moral laws. What Asha Kissoon did is that, together with two other parties, they agreed that they would share their parliamentary presence based on the amount of votes they got. And so the three of them, Asha Kissoon, the new movement, you got a phone call.
Good evening, you're on the program.
Good night, Mr. Leonard, Craig, and Mr. Kissoon.
Hey.
You know what I call to say? If Mr. Mohammed win the what do you call it? He's the
leader of the opposition.
The leader of the opposition.
Uh-huh.
These people ain't supposed to resign and go along the way. These people,
the three PNC appointed commissioners, and it must be stated, PNC appointed commissioners. There are three PPP appointed commissioners, two of which sit in the PPP leadership.
Not necessarily. Here now, as Freddie was discussing just now, the collation between man-made law and moral law, right? Moral law that guides our conscience and all those kinds of things. There are things that are wrong in society that no law in any law books could shape. And I think that is where Freddie Kissoon is going with respect to the commissioners. But I have a different take. I believe that their exit should be negotiated and not forced or demanded.
But I feel that they should pass the law. They should pass through all these things through Parliament and bind these laws.
It's a law that was passed through Parliament. In fact, it's in the Constitution, which is the supreme law. So it's not a question with the law.
The question with the people.
It's a question with morals, yes.
Morals, yes. And you know what I'm glad Mr. Mohammed is leader for the Linden people. I'm glad he's the leader for the Linden people, because he's going to get more done and certain part of the. You know what I admire. You listening?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I admire with Mr. Mohammed? When he go to the Amerindian village, he didn't go barehanded. He go with ration and money, and he give the people this what the people want. And Freddie Kissoon say, like Bob Marley, give the people what they want, food, house, and shelter. The man go with his money, and the man do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I praise that man like how I praise Donald Trump. I like what that man do. He go with his money, he go with the food and money, and said, yes, food and money, I'll look, because the people need it. That is status land. Because they have a PPP. Let me show you something. They got a PPP man in Linden. When the people didn't used to go to meeting, he used to take out $4,000 out of their money. With $40,000 workers. I could call his name, but I won't call his name here now.
No, don't call his name, please.
No, because listen what I'm saying. All of this thing got to straighten. And Jagdio got to know. Jagdio and them got to know. One, they got a minister, he lose, since 2015, he lose an election in Linden. And they still got Ian as a cluster leader here. He should go along the way. All these people got to go along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they got to go along the way and let fresh people come. Although the PPP win the election, but he lose 4 times or 5 times he lose up here.
Lose what?
he lose the election to the local government election and the thing election. We supposed to get a new cluster leader. Let him move. It's time for him to move.
All right.
We want fresh blood.
All right.
That's my take.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Concerning the Alexander and others,
I was coming to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, the topic is, what does Asha Kissoon and Vincent Alexander have in common? Now, Asha Kissoon said she was not moving out of Parliament or giving up a seat because legal. You have a call.
Good evening. You're on the program.
Yeah, no. Hi, Leonard. I was trying to finish my topic with Charles and Freddie, and my minutes ran out on my phone. Actually, I was calling direct to Freddie, and I was saying is that Freddie allowed his intellectual his intellect to be questioned on that night.
Meaning what?
Where when he allowed I think Charles, as far as I'm concerned, Charles bullied you guys that night. And that's all I'm saying.
Meaning what?
When he was spewing the nonsense about Mohammed being an intellect and he went to duty and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Hear what? We have a policy not to, as far as possible, to attack our guests or to be antagonistic towards them. And if you notice on that program, Freddie did interject. Remember, Freddie is not the records department of UG. And but he did interject during my time. This guy was not there. And Sharon Das was at UG during Freddie's time. And so Freddie interjected and said, hey, look, this can't be. And that was fact-checking. But beyond that, I don't think...
No, hold on. Leonard, don't misinterpret me. I concur to Freddie just now in my earlier call that I know he addressed it. He did address it, and he pulled up Sharon Das, and he made it clear to Sharon Das that is not right.
Mm-hmm.
But all I was saying is that, all I was asking of Freddie is that he knew what Sharon was saying was not was a total lie.
Mm-hmm.
He addressed it in a nonchalant way, and that Freddie is an intellect.
You're saying Freddie should have been more forceful.
Normally I know Freddie would address it in a more aggressive manner when he knows that it's a lie. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not. All I'm trying to correct here is I tried to finish my conversation with Freddie in the initial call, and that is what I meant. All right.
Thanks for coming through, buddy.
I am not attacking anyone here, not at all.
Understood.
Listen, Freddie Kissoon is my boy. Simple as that. Thank you, man.
All right, good. No problem.
Yeah, so Kissoon stayed in Parliament and said to the nation, where is the law to remove me? GCOM cannot remove me because I am there because the leader of my list appointed me and GCOM had to do the necessary. The laws of Guyana do not interfere with the workings of Parliament, so the judges cannot tell Parliament. Judges have no legal backing to remove a member of Parliament. And so she said there. But here was the thing about Asha Kissoon. She just shut out the moral dimension that civilization rests on, that these three parties come together, got over 5,000 votes, of that amount she got 242. So they decided to split it 2 years plus for one party, 2 years plus for another party, and 3 months for her. She took the 3 months and did not move and stayed there for 2.5 years. So a number of moral questions have arisen out of that. What happened to the 2,300, 400 people that voted for Anouk, and that Anouk should have had a say in Parliament? That's one. Secondly, Asha Kissoon, and as far as I know, and I read everything, that's my job. Like how an engineer job is to measure the road, like our accountancy's job is to deal with figures and balance the book. My job is to read what's going on in Guyana, because that is my job. I'm doing my job here. Asha Kissoon has never addressed this nation and said, I know I should have left Parliament. I know I should have given way to Anouk. I know my stay was only 3 months, but this is my explanation. I hope you see with me. I apologize if you think I'm doing something wrong. And she had a moral obligation as one of the most important office holders in Guyana, a legislator, to tell us why she did not subscribe to the request of leaving after 3 months. She never did that. She just said, I am staying here because the law doesn't allow me to be removed. Now, I see a similarity with that in Vincent Alexander, in which he said it quite clearly, and it's graphically reproduced in my Saturday column. It's entitled Vincent Alexander, Darkness at Noon. Alexander told the Starbuck News, a GCOM commissioner is has lifelong tenure. No agency, whether it's a political party that initially appointed a GCOM commissioner, whether it's a presidency, whether it's the court, you have to change the constitution to remove a GCOM commissioner. In that Saturday article, I said, what about the moral obligation of Alexander that the people who appointed him 18 years ago no longer constitute the opposition in Parliament? And those over 100,000 persons that voted for that new opposition voted for them to empower them to make certain changes in Guyana. And one of those changes that they would like to remove the 3 commissioners of a previous party's choice and go with their own choice. Now, I don't think Alexander could be moved legally, but he should follow the moral code and say, the reason the reason for my existence in GCOM is no longer obtainable because I was appointed by the leader of the opposition 18 years ago, and an opposition named the People's National Congress. That opposition is gone, and therefore I don't feel like I have the moral authority to speak on behalf of this new opposition. Now, we come to a question of format. As Leonard Craig is saying, should the new opposition say to him, come out, come out, come out? Should the new opposition say to him, we want to put our own people? Or should the new opposition say to him, can we discuss the way forward? Now, Craig is saying they should approach Alexander and the 2 other commissioners about the way forward. My position is, I don't see how one can argue against that. That is called civility. You call the 3 commissioners in and you say, look, we have our own opposition now. We have 16 parliamentarians. They should have an input in, and could we find a way out? But Alexander said in his interview with Starbuck, we cannot be moved. That is the constitutional provision, and you have to take it from there. Just as how Craig is right, that Wynne cannot say, can you vacate? and it should be more civilized approach. I think Alexander in that interview should have said, even though the Constitution makes me irremovable, it doesn't mean that there is not a way out. It doesn't mean negotiations are precluded. But he did not say that, and he sounded very much like Asha Kissoon.
Yeah, call. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, sir. I think a program of this nature needs a legal mind to give guidance, especially one who's trained on our constitutional law. Because when we look at, I know Freddie's talking about moral law. Moral law is good, but a nation cannot be built per se upon moral law. And I'm not saying moral is not necessary in a society, but morals could be subjective. It's like I cannot be prosecuted based on moral law.
No, we're saying the same thing, you know. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, well then, if Ms. Asha Kissoon and Alexander, we look at them in relation to their act, and we talk to them, they should leave based on moral laws. No, it shows a weakness in our legislative, in our constitution.
But let me stop you there quickly. There is no country on earth who could legislate everything.
No,
different things. Hold on. At the time when that was put in the Constitution, it was just and good for that time. Time has advanced. We got new technology, new different things happen in our elections and all of that requires an update. I agree. So, but in the interregnum, in the period in between, we got to have some sort of moral code that guide our interaction, and that is all we're saying.
Code. But then again, legally, I'm not bound by a moral code. I am bound by the legal code.
Nobody is bound. So listen, from your voice, you don't sound like you're 16 or 18. No one is bound by moral laws. But without them, there can be no civilization.
But that's what I'm saying. I understand.
When you go into a hospital, no law compels a nurse. No law compels a nurse to treat you based on ethnicity. But she would not do that. That's a moral law.
That is why I'm saying a program of this nature needs a constitutional mind.
Well, we can't have a constitutional lawyer sit down here every week.
No, then got something goes into the intent of the lawmakers, and that is kind of technical. What were the intent of the lawmakers when they put
in the Constitution, sir? The intent is clear. The Constitution specifies that to remove a person, the person got to be removed for misconduct, or a
tribunal has to be
or a health issue for which they cannot serve. And then not only that, you got to have a commission of inquiry to inquire into the facts of this matter, and then they got to recommend to the president that the person be removed.
But that is what we're saying. The intent is a little beyond us. We're not trained in that field, because we could say the intent of the lawmakers would say, hey, you know what? We were making this law with the intent that these people were representing the party or the people that voted them in.
Can you stop and in a very simplified, brief manner, could you tell us what is your point? What is your point here?
Both Asha and Mr. Alexander breaks no law in Guyana. No law.
That's your point.
Yeah, and when Asha, we start talking about moral law, was Asha made deputy speaker? We gotta look at it. Why was she made deputy speaker if we talking about this moral law? Why we don't address the part too?
I think we're coming up near or maybe past your 5 minutes. You saying that they broke
You see a stammer there, Fred. You see a stammer there.
No, you saying that they broke no law. I think it's unfortunate, sir. I don't know your age, but I think it's unfortunate that you cannot see the importance of people observing moral laws and moral values.
I understand that, but if they did breach, I coming out now. If they breach a constitutional law, well, then we could have taken them to court. But we can't take them to court by breaching a moral law.
No, but we acknowledge
it's subjective.
We acknowledge that.
How could moral law be objective? When you sit down, how could moral laws be objective? So I don't think I want to. For someone to downplay the importance of morality and human behavior. So thanks for coming too. I don't think I have the patience for this kind of argument. Morality is too important for civilization. I don't want to continue with that. I mean, he's saying Alexander and Asha Kissoon broke no law. End the story. Look, we have a call.
Good evening, you're onto the program.
Hello?
Hi, good evening, you're onto the program.
Yes, Mr. Craig. I'm calling in relation to some issues with national insurance, please.
All right, just state quickly.
Yes. Yes, quickly. 3 things. 1, national insurance was supposed to give each contributor an annual record of their contributions. Am I correct?
I think so, yes.
I don't know if we can find out when last was that given, because I haven't gotten a statement for the last 5 years.
What I believe, you can just go in or call and get your statement, You
can't get it online?
No, I don't know if you can get it online, but they were supposed to.
You mean they are supposed to send it to you automatically the way...
That's correct.
The way a billing company would send bills to you. The way GPL sends bills to you.
Certain banks send your bank statement.
Yeah, like your bank statement. Oh, that's what you were saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
The Minister Singh said at one of his outreaches that you're supposed to get a statement at the end of every year.
Well,
I don't know that for sure, but I will find out and I'll come back next week
I would definitely appreciate that. Now, secondly, as a self-employed person, a relative of mine has paid his contribution up to the end of December 2025 because you can pay, like he paid twice for this year. Every time I check online for this person, the last contribution record is saying 2023 that he had 14 contributions. But I know he has paid, he has his receipt. Every time we talk to NIS, they are saying, they're going to update the record. I know they are supposed to be updating the record every 3 months. I'm talking the last update was in 2023. That's my second concern about NIS. The third concern is today. A relative of mine went into NIS because he has not gotten any payment for voucher for claims he made. When he went in today, he was told by the clerk that he was overpaid previously, and that's why he hasn't gotten this payment. So he asked, can I have an idea why I was overpaid, where I was overpaid? The lady said, we don't normally give that record out.
Oh, really?
She's talking nonsense. She's talking nonsense. She's abusing the man's rights.
No, Mr. Kissoon.
She's violating the man. She should be reported. He should report her.
That's what I'm asking. The person asked, please, I need an explanation. Why was I overpaid? How much was I overpaid? How could it be the total amount that was supposed to be paid for me for June was overpaid? Is it the total amount? No less, no more? Do I not still owe? Or do you not owe me some part of it? The person got up and went to the supervisor and came back and said, the supervisor said, that's how we do it. And we don't give any explanation.
That's not true. That is not true.
So let me ask you, let me say this. You have my number. If you call me tomorrow morning and give me details, name and so on, that I could call to NIS, I could get thing and follow that up.
Yes, and I'll give you the person NIS number.
Yeah. So call me in the morning. Anytime
But-
after
but-
8
but-
and give me
But in fairness,
details.
Saul, there are two sides to a
Yes.
story. We have to get the
course.
side of the
Yeah,
person.
yeah, well, that's why
we
I'm
have to
saying.
get the side of the person you're making the accusation against.
Give me the details and
That's
let me
correct.
inquire.
I sure will, Mr. Craig. I sure will.
Good.
All right. One last thing. I want to thank you guys for this program. Mr. Kissoon, I have looked at your program from the very first day.
Mm.
And I continue looking at your program. Mr. Craig, you're doing an awesome job. I can't wait to hear what is being offered to you. And you know what I'm talking about.
No, that's all right.
Well.
Yeah.
I think I myself, and I was having lunch with Craig when somebody
Okay.
drove up and say they like to know what is in store for him. Anyway, good.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So I'll talk to you tomorrow, Mr. Craig.
Yeah, surely.
Okay, my friend.
Take
Have
care.
a great night.
Yeah.
I,
You know, one of the things, if no call is coming in, I want to say something, but the call.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Turn down your volume. Turn
Hello.
down your volume.
Please turn on your volume if you're going to call in, because the last caller there, we not hearing the call at all, and we're hearing everything on the TV. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi.
Same thing again. Turn down. We're hearing.
Leonard.
Yes. Go right ahead.
My wife is paying NIS, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have about 1,300 and something contribution.
Mm-hmm.
But she employed, but she was working now about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't pay for that 3 years, but she have 13 something. She went into NIS, she reaches 60. Now tell me something. If you get 750 contribution, you get the minimum.
Mm.
Okay, you have 13 something now.
Mm-hmm.
They still give her the minimum of NIS.
Yeah. NIS is calculated based on not the number of contributions you make totally, necessarily. It has a little factor, but not necessarily. It has to do with your last, I think it's 3 years of salary. And then there's a formula based on that. So it's not necessarily the number of contributions. That has less weight on the amount than the amount you were actually earning.
But let me tell you something now. Okay, if I pay an NIS and I reach 750 contribution, I supposed to stop paying my NIS then?
You could. However, the law doesn't allow you unless you are of retirement age. When you reach retirement age, you could stop paying.
No, but there's robbery and violence there, man.
No, so that's what I'm saying. What I can do though, here's what I could do for you. I could call the manager or a senior supervisor at NIS. I would let them know that I'm recording the call to be played here, and let them provide an explanation.
No, but the point of view now, if I pay, let me say, I reach the double amount, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Listen to me. I hear what you're saying, but I am not the competent authority to answer your question.
But I would like to NIS know they are robbery people
No,
with
so
violence.
don't say that yet. I'm just saying to you, let me call NIS, interview them, record the call, and then come and play the answer here. And then we will know the full details of what it is, because sometimes you are misguided or sometimes I am misguided. So I am saying I am not the competent authority to answer that question. Let me get a person competent to do it and bring the answer here next week.
Okay, I will be.
And then we take it from there.
Okay, thanks.
Right?
Okay.
Good, thanks.
All right.
Yeah, Freddie, finish your point.
One of the things I want to advocate that the new government do is I've been at this calling program for 3 years, and I think there need to be an office. I don't know what the format is going to be like. You could expand on that. Anyway, I was talking about.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hi. You're on the program.
Yeah, thank you. I have a concern to raise, please.
Mm-hmm.
Concerning these Chinese, compete with these Chinese in this country about business, right? I know these Chinese open up a set of supermarket all up in this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here my problem. I open up a stone depot. My whole life savings, I invest over $70 million. Open up a... Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We listen to you.
And I'm buying back this stone now from this Chinese quarry. Truck it all the way to Barbies. We're still giving the Chinese the support, right? Now the same Chinese company coming and open a retail depot in the same region. How can we able to compete with these Chinese? They already have the quarry. We are already buying back stone from these guys. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can we compete with these guys now?
Mm.
You understand? So what if we protect the guy and these citizens in this country?
I hear you. I hear you.
We are already supporting these guys, you know. Now they're coming into this region now and open a retail depot.
Mm-hmm.
How you can compete with them guys this?
Mm-hmm. I am going to raise that. Which minister is responsible for mining?
Natural resources.
Natural resource. I'm going to raise this with Natural Resources Minister and see what the response is, and also make this suggestion. And one suggestion I might have is that the local content thing that govern the oil industry should govern all natural resources.
I at a philosophical level would welcome people coming here of all nationality, of all races. That right. Here was my problem though with the business ventures of the Chinese people. I not suspect. I think I know that Chinese businesses have an advantage over other investors, because I think the Chinese government are funding.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me in the street where I live how you could have 4 supermarkets. I am telling you this. There has to be some kind of subsidy going on there. You cannot have 4 shops selling marby or sugar cake in one street. 3 will suffer. I believe what is happening, and this is the problem, if you're going to have a superpower like the Chinese government investing in Chinese business by virtue of a literal economic subsidy, you're gonna kill local entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I think the government has to work that out, because that subsidy is inbuilt into the unfairness between the former colonies and the former European empires. The European subsidize their farmers, and they do it rather barefacedly. And then the IMF tells third world countries, you cannot have a state-run transportation service. You cannot have a state-run bus service. You cannot have a state-run this and that. And they subsidize their farmers. So if the Chinese are pouring hundreds of millions of American dollars in Chinese businesses around the world, then it's going to have dangerous implications for survival of local people, because when the guy takes his $20 million and open a supermarket, the Chinese government are going to give 3 Chinese companies $60 million to set up the same supermarket, in history.
Close you down.
It got to be. Craig is an economist. I don't know anything about economics.
No, you're on the right track.
I think something is wrong here. I have seen Chinese supermarkets, 4 or 5 of them. You got to go up the East Coast and see within a radius of 1 mile, there are 5 Chinese supermarkets now. I live at Turkine. From UG Road, think about it. I don't know which region you belong to, so think about it.
Region 5. And
So I live at Turkine on UG Road in the railway embankment. From the traffic light on UG Road to Ogle, there are 5 supermarkets.
More than 5.
And that's less than a mile.
More than 5. But I worked it out. All right, sir, thanks for coming through.
Yeah,
as I said, I will raise your issue.
You have to pay back the bank, you understand? So when these things happen now...
Yeah, you have loans to pay back. Yeah.
I will raise the issue with Minister of Natural Resources.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the good work, guys.
Why they don't make you the minister within the Minister of Natural Resources? I would support.
No, don't.
No, I would advocate that. You'd be a good Minister of Natural Resources.
You don't know.
Minister of State within. Yeah. I know I shouldn't say that.
Right. The thing about Chinese business, the thing is, I lived in China for a couple of years, and that practice of having supermarkets back to back is a Chinese thing. That's the way it is in China, albeit that China has billion plus people. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
In relation to the NIS calculation for retirement, it is stated clearly in NIS website what it is calculated. And the number of years that you work is very, very important. When it's 50 contributions more than 750, it's 1% extra that you have to raise.
You're breaking up. Contributions above 750 is what?
Every 50, the 1% extra you have to raise.
1% extra?
Yes.
Okay.
Investigate the website.
All right. I see.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah, what he is saying is that for every 50 contributions above 750, you have an additional 1% to what would have been your original thing. But as I said, I'll keep my promise. I'll get the information from that gentleman, put all together, and I'll call. I think I know a couple of senior people at NIS. I'll call, get an appropriate person. There might be some things we got to speak off record, and what they can go on record with, I would seek to have it recorded and
have a call.
Good evening. You're on to the program.
Hi, Craig and Freddie. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you? Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm responding to that caller on that stone issue, and I've seen that. I'm an economics major as well too. In the U.S., what's been done with this only about 15, 20 years ago, there's something called a zoning rights, and what it did is that if you're producing a product, for example, like McDonald's, you can't go by McDonald's store in every corner. You have a zoning right where even 15, 20 miles apart, you sell your products. And that is something government need to look into. And I'm pretty sure Freddie and both of you may have heard this. You have seen that, experienced that here in North America. And that's something that should be looked into.
I lived also in Germany. And I know they have that in Germany with respect to 2 things for sure. Not for everything, but 2 things for sure. Drugstores and supermarkets. They have that for those 2 things, so that you do not have more than 1 drugstore within a certain area. And if somebody else must open a drugstore, they force you to go into an area where there's none. So rather than have a concentration of 10 drugstore in one area, they have the association of drugstore people or whatever you call it, and then they put them in, make sure it's available, because it's a health thing. When you want a pain tablet, you won't go till around, wherever. I know that for sure, and I know they do that with supermarkets.
But that zoning, point about zoning is
the other things, the other forms of businesses. I'm not sure. That
may be the solution. The poor man said he invested 70 million in his quarry. How the Chinese government financed
and I feel for him.
You have to feel for him.
Yes, because he's putting all his capital in and trying to make ends meet, while the Chinese government are getting their funding. But anyway, this is something that I think, Craig, I'm pretty sure you interact a lot more, and I'm not sure about Freddie with the government. These are petty things, but they're national interest to the people, our own people who are working. Doesn't matter what ethnicity. The point is that they're trying to grow their business, and they should give them a lot more courage foreign investors. So something got to be done to some level of equality. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy. Do a good job.
Yes, thanks for coming, sure.
Take care. Sure. Bye-bye.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hello?
Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. I would like to comment a little on this NIS thing that callers were asking about.
Yes.
I'm an NIS pensioner. I can make a little comment on that. Now, what they normally do, they take the last 5 years that you work, and they take the best 3 out of that and calculate your average wage
the
or
best
salary.
3 and not the last 3. Okay, good.
The last 5 year you work, right? Before you try the last 5, they take the best 3 out of that and calculate an average there. And they pay a certain percentage based on that average.
Okay.
Now for 750 contribution, you get the minimum payout. Every 50 thereafter, I think you get 1% more added on.
Right.
So that's what the calculation actually is. Yes, for the benefit of those who don't know, because I am an NIS pensioner right now. I'm calling from New York, by the way.
Okay. Thanks for coming through, buddy.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Craig. Mr. Kissoon, good night.
Oh, good night, sir. Good night.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Evening. Leonard, the guy that called in and told you about Muhammad went to Region 10 and give out money and whatever. You should have told him, says, where he got the money from. Why did you tell him?
I hear you.
They believe that this guy got valid money, but that money came from the same taxpayers' money. They're running the wrong idea, but it's gonna run out, and then they're gonna catch themselves. That's all I want to tell you.
Yeah,
okay,
thanks for coming through.
Bye.
Yeah. Freddie, you were finishing up a point on NIS. No, it wasn't NIS.
I was saying, based on the experience of this program, the government really needs. There is no human rights body, although you have a human rights association which is funded by external agencies and they get money from local Western embassies. Nobody bothers to them, nobody complains to them, and I think from the calls I get at my home, morning, noon, and night, from the calls that I get here, from the calls that you get, and when Gildari was on the program, the government really need to set up a very high level to look into people's problems.
Good evening.
Hi, good night, Leonard. Good night, friends. These guys talking about this NIS thing, right? No, lady. No, the NIS is last 5 years at your insurable earnings. From at the block of 750. From 750, every block of 50, you get a 1% up to 1,750 contributions, which will give you 60%. So after 1,750, if you have 2,000, you get nothing more on the extra. It is calculated at your insurable earnings, not your salary.
Right.
Because what is it? Because now a man might get a salary of 300,000 a month, but there's a cutoff point. Right. Right. So your insurable earnings for the best 3 years out to the last 5 years, they calculate from 750, and then they give you 1% every block of 50 until you reach 1,750. You get a maximum 60%. If you have 1,400, well, you'll get whatever percent for the 1,300. You don't go up more. You don't go more.
Okay.
Yeah, that is it.
All right. Thanks for coming through.
So So these guys saying up to that 1,300, look at that 1,300 to get the minimum because of the insured earnings.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that gentleman didn't know about that called.
Hey, good evening. You're onto the program.
A very good evening to you, sir. I just have about 3 things to say, or 4 things. I'm trying to make it quick.
Please.
The first thing first, I wanted to, I don't want to say congratulations, but I wanted to say thanks to the President of Guyana for, at least now is the start. He started, I gave him a plus for that, by looking after our people that is very ill in terms of this blood transfusion across the entire country. That's a good initiative. That's something good for the people that the kidneys that he's doing.
You mean dialysis? Yeah.
The dialysis, for the people of this country. I want to commend him and the minister and all those with that kind. But there is something more that needs to add to that, and I don't know how we can add it. I know they're doing much, a lot of things they're doing, but one, just for this program, let me say this. When I was growing up, right? My father...
You said you have 4. You're going to the second one?
Yeah, no, I'll just say something here. When I was growing up, and my father took off his belt and put it to my behind, it was not for that he didn't love me. It's that he was teaching me to be a better person. I'm saying this to say to this program. This program is a very good program. It should have got ministers, it should have got people taking notes of a lot of things that has been said to put systems in place.
All right. What's the second one? You said you have 4.
The second one is the elderly. There are many things that you might know that the public hospital, not that they don't have the tablets, it's that sometimes they don't have the tablet that has been recommended for the elderly and have to push down the pocket and pay for these. The real expensive. I would like to see some system in place that if they could get a bill to that money could be refunded back.
A type of voucher to refund. Okay, I hear
those kind of assistance to the elderly persons. That's 2. 3. Here what happened. There is some things that, as I said, I like everything that's going on, and I wanted to look into this. Very, very much important. There are a lot of dark spots in this country that needs, some very, very dark spots. I do want to highlight that. I know they have a new ministry.
I can assure you that will be taken care of. That's a promise that's in the manifesto, and that was spoken of every day on the campaign trail. That lights and concrete drains will be pervasive even in small communities.
Yeah, well, I really would wanted to see that happening, the lights, but next one, forgive me, I might be out of touch here, but I wanted to see something. I want to answer question that you was asked in that panel, the last panel that you had with the mayor.
Yeah, go ahead. Just ask the question.
The truth about there was a question I wanted to see. That Norton should go, should resign and get out. He shouldn't even look back, shouldn't wait. He shouldn't wait for no Congress place. He shouldn't wait for nothing. He needs to pack up and get out. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for coming through. This last caller sound passionate about his last about oh shoot, that was a mistake. Yeah, the last caller sound very, very passionate about what he he said. I think people anyway. Yeah, I think you're making a valid point, Freddie.
Yeah, they need before the call. It's been 3 years I've been doing this thing. It's for 36 years I've been a columnist, and people call you, and they has to, I mean, some of these stories are heartbreaking, but they could be solved by just you know.
Yeah. Some of these issues are, as the term you use, heartbreaking for people, and these issues could be solved easily. You know, government already got systems and so on for some of these issues. Hi, good evening.
Hey, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Fine. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, man, I really, really appreciate this program. Mr. Craig, I have one issue, man. I would like to see now the government raise this old age pension from 65 to 60, because there's a lot of people the age of 60 can't really work, you know, and I see enough of them suffer.
No, man, 60 is pretty young, man. 60 is pretty. 60 is.
There's some people they don't have a job. Some people don't have.
Well, they could apply. Maybe they could apply for assistance.
Yeah,
but I mean, senior citizen pension is the people getting on in age. I think most countries retirement age is beyond 60. So you can't ask the government to fork out so much billions for 60 is young, man. 60 is young.
Well, yes, a little assistance could have worked for them, yes. I know that. Because I get an old age, you know. I get an old age pension. I see some people, you know, really need. And if they could get something, that would be really nice for them. Yeah, man, that's a point. And, you know, Mr. Craig, I was listening out to, you know, when the government was, you know, I was listening out to your name, you know, to see if you hold any position, man, but I ain't hear anything. I hope the best for you, man.
Thanks for your good wishes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy, thanks for coming through.
Yeah.
Father, I say no more.
To tell you what, Freddie, when
don't get to
no, just saying every day as I walk the streets, even up to today and all of that.
I was having lunch.
People shouting, asking me, you know, thing, but that is not.
That's not your style, no.
Right.
But
Hi, good evening. You got to turn on your TV.
Good evening.
You got to turn your TV right down. I'm hearing back myself on your TV.
Hello? Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, Dr. Freddie and Leonard Craig.
Yes.
I called to tell you all something in relation to the pensioners. Unless the pensioners get $83,000 a month, the government ain't doing nothing for them. Because look at the election campaign. During the election time, right? The opposition, both APNU and Win, both of them promised 100,000 to the pensioners. It shows something the C is lacking. This is the reason why they offer that, right? Now, the government is offering them $60,000. It is very far from the offer of the opposition party.
Now, your calculation says 83,000.
Yeah.
What you base the calculation on?
I base it on $1 million a month, a year.
A year.
Because politicians are getting that and more in a month. So why is it that the people, that the pensioner cannot enjoy a little extra before they die? So this is my point.
Okay.
The government should consider something better than the 60,000.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I wouldn't disagree with 80,000. I don't see. I think Craig is an economist and he could do the calculation. If you look at the category of 65 up and you raise it to 80, Craig could tell you how much that will come up to. And I think it probably will just be over $1 billion.
Right.
Because
it
or
could be
maybe
like
less, or maybe less.
It will be like 400 US.
But one of the things I suggested on this program, I think Craig had concurred. I don't know if he still holds that position. I had argued that they should keep the toll on the bridges and every year put that money either into some form of assistance, either disability assistance or old age pension, because I don't think very poor people benefit from free transportation on the bridges.
No, they don't really benefit.
I know working class people will, because they take the minibuses, and I don't know.
I don't think it filtered down because, for example, sir, thanks for coming through. Yeah. I don't think it because, for example, the Barbies Bridge, a minibus used to pay somewhere around $1,900 or $1,800 or something like that to cross, and then now it is now free, and the fare to go across the bridge used to be $300, and it's still the same.
No, it can't be.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Craig and Freddie.
Yeah, thanks for coming
I think Freddie's trying to... Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, hi, Freddie. I think you're trying to get a word out on the issue of problems and complaints and issues where we take it to. And not many Guyanese know which ministry should be going to. And many times I heard the president and the leaders of the PPP would talk about removing the bureaucratic control.
Yes.
And I believe this is something, and there should be a central point where complaints should be brought forward.
In every region.
Every citizen.
Every region.
Yes. They should be able to take these issues. It doesn't matter what is it. They sometimes can be solved right there, but may require them to point it towards the right ministry and deal with it directly. Let the central point.
Hello?
So they don't have to go back to any of the ministry, housing, criminal, or whatever, and they come to that area for a solution. And I'm not sure. I believe some kind of an idea. I believe that was Freddie was alluding to.
It's long overdue, sir. It's long overdue.
I cannot disagree with that.
It would make poor people's life more more worthwhile.
Freddie, can I tell you something? It's happening in Taiwan right now. It is a full-blown out ministry. It happens in Taiwan.
Not just Taiwan, I lived in China. I lived in Germany.
Yes.
Those are countries I live in. And they have that system. I know for sure it's in China. For sure it's in Germany.
But you know who...
That if you got a problem or... I won't call it a problem, but any issue, any life issue, You don't have to run all around the government and so on.
And you shouldn't.
You
right.
just
yes,
go
yes.
to your local office in your community, and just as how we have NDCs and so on, in your own NDC, you go to the office and they can help you with police problem, documents problem, everything. And
the point is that what you do, you save them the time of running to a number of ministries where they don't know which is the right one to go to.
Yeah, a lot of people call me
with skills.
The first call, the very first call in this program was where is the Child Protection Agency? Where is it located? I don't know, and I told them it may be in the Ministry of Human Services.
It's actually on Broad and what is the name of this other street? Broad and Charles Street.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thanks for coming through. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hey, good evening. I'm listening to the program and I'm hearing about the pensions and pensioners issue. But when you look at, for example, old age pension, which is going to be now 60,000. That is also, it could be considered government assistance, because if one would have worked and contributed to NIS, you would now gain old age pension plus NIS. And if you work with a company, you probably would have got a company pension, which would have taken you to way over the 83,000 or so, and that guy was talking about, or the 100,000 that the opposition and so on was contributing, was saying that they could afford to give. So if you look at it in an overall context, if everyone was working and making all the contribution, let's say, to NIS and so on, they would have benefited more. So,
Yeah, but also, sir, there's a large number of people, especially in the rural areas, whose life was not made up with formal work. Some people work in a little rice field, some people pick fruits and went to the market and sell. Some people plant, and so on. And so they did not have the required NIS contribution, that's one. And they never work with a company and all of that. And all they have is the government
assistance,
pension to live on. Yeah.
But also one party, because let's say if the husband or let's say the wife, one of them had a fixed job somewhere for a company or organization, and you reach those age, and the person,
you're not from the countryside. You're a Georgetown person. Call in.
No. I'm from the country. I'm from Canal number 2.
Yeah. I am not sure you understand the life in some of these deep country areas, and some of these deep Rupununi areas and some of these region 5 Baghdam and so on, families could grow up entirely without having worked formally. Entire family.
Baghdam life is
housewife looking after the children at home, and the husband just go back down, pick coconut, pick that, and that's the life.
Right. What also need to happen is that you need to have what you call an overall educational program to deal with it, because for sensitizing the people on. Because if you look at it, we are still heading into the same direction. You have a lot of people who are privately working, like maybe high car drivers, minibus drivers,
The trouble is, or the challenge, right? The challenge is how to get those persons to contribute to NIS, and NIS got a system that I don't like quite. So if you go and you register,
I don't like it too, because you have to go into them to get.
Yeah, so if you register self-employed, let's say you're a bus conductor, right? And you register self-employed as a bus conductor, but bus conducting work is precarious. And this month you get work, next month you get work, or this week you get, next week you get, the other week. NIS requires so many documents. Every time you have a break in your service, even if it's for 1 week, You gotta write some letter and tell them that I did not work from day X to day thing to account for the break and all of that. And if NIS could find a way of reducing the documents needed and then get people who are in this precarious work to contribute, I think it can help.
It can help, right? It can help. What happening, I think, is that the population is not sensitized enough to, handle those kind of things. And also, NIS need to get the act together, because I can tell you, half leaders get to go, because before my father died, he was running to get his information corrected because he was a executive. Unfortunately, he didn't reach 60 a couple months before. And he was ill before. He was medically discharged from a job that he was doing. Never received any benefits. When we inquire, they only find his contribution. Now, they never find the other part. We took in the documents, however, my mother ended up getting survival benefit from NIS. I mean, they need to, NIS in whole need probably a proper revamping, because you find that people complaining, and if you look at people complaining about.
Leonard Craig, and for those who are listening, from the time we start calling program 3 years ago, if somebody do the research and all the callings program, NIS and in non-service from the NDCs have been continuous threads running through these calling program 3 years ago. I mean, surely the government, I don't know if they have somebody monitoring.
I think the government, in fairness to the government though, I think they have acknowledged the NDC issue that you raised.
Some effort was made.
Yeah, I think they have acknowledged the NDC issue, and there are plans that I've heard of and that I know of to improve NDCs going forward. So within a year or so, I think we should see marked improvements from the NDCs.
I think in each region, you should have not an NIS office, not integrated the NIS. These are people legally empowered to liaison with NIS and get things done. These people should be paid well, and the mando's office receive the complaints, and the NIS management have to deal with them. This NIS thing cries out for solution, man. 3 years I've been doing this program. Anyway.
Thank you guys for taking my call. It's an informative program, and continue to do the great job here as well.
All right, thanks for coming through. Craig, if there's another call, we got to take it. But I want to tell you something. I don't know if you noticed something tonight. I've noticed it for the past 3 years. When you have a topic on politics, the calling is on that topic. Do you know tonight, the topic was Alexander and Asha Kissoon and moral laws. Do you know we had just had 2 calls in that? And
one person called an NIS.
For an hour and a half, it's people's problems that need to be solved. The man with the stone depot, the NIS. Right? People want their life to be meaningful. They don't want to live with these hassles. So they don't care about Alexander and calling in about what Alexander do. What happened to Win and Alexander G come? They want the NIS is not being properly looked after. A man invests $70 million. And I notice, and this is instructive, and I hope the government and other politicians, apart from God, are listening. You put a topic and people calling about their problems. They need to look at our topic.
I think I mentioned it on this program before, and I'm going to mention it again. When I served during the coalition time, I often, on the AFC boardroom, could bear me out on this, that I often said, if you want to win any future election, and if you want people to be satisfied with what you're doing, fix all the little things for people. all little issues that people have that you consider to be small, those are the issues you got fixed, because there are more small men, small people in Guyana than there are people who could take care of themselves completely. Hi, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, please turn your TV down.
No, I don't have a TV.
Oh, well, your smartphone or whatever.
Your notebook or smartphone?
Yes.
Can you hear me better? Can you hear me better now?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering. And first, I want to say congratulations to you, Freddie. I've known you for a very long time, and you're doing a fabulous job. You and this other young man, which I don't know because I've migrated many years ago. But I want to let you know you're doing a fabulous job. But just to pick up quickly, because I know you don't have much time, I do listen to your program. And Freddie, I think you are one of the bedrock when it comes to media. There's a few things I would like for you to bring on your program whenever you see it fit. I'm happy that the president is restoring Georgetown to its original garden city, and I'm praying in my heart deeply that those historical buildings like the city building, the high courts, and all these different historical buildings could be preserved so that when visitors come to visit Guyana, and those of us that are living in the diaspora wants to return back home, we would be able to bring family and friends and show them, look, this is where I came from. Look at this building. Like if you go to places like Germany, Holland, you go to London, you see all these historical buildings are being preserved. And one other thing that I would really like to see, and I hope that you can pass this message on to the Honorable Priya Manichan, who's now the local
local government
minister for this district. Is for the whole entire country, not just Georgetown alone, but everywhere. Because when you look at it and you see all these different videos and people show all these plastic and junk that are floating in the canals in Georgetown, especially Eve Larry and all these different, those things need to be knocked out. So, I'd like you to bring up some of these environmental issues on your program so that, those of us that are living in the diaspora and the people that are local at home can participate and make it a better place, a better Guyana, because we want to see a better Guyana. And again, Freddie, I want to tell you, thank you. It's been a long time. I know you since the days you were writing in a newspaper. So congratulations, and I hope that you bring up these programs. And
yes, I will. I'll try my best, madam.
One last thing I would like to see, because I have a lot of friends who live in the United States and they visit Georgetown. One of the things people are scared of, especially when they go to Starbuck Market, Border Market, or they go to the Demico House area, people being mugged, they've been picked. We want to hear people go to Guyana and say, I visited.
Sorry for laughing, but that Starbuck Market thing, oh my goodness.
This has to be the last call coming through. Thanks for coming through, madam.
We've got 2 minutes more.
Yeah, you're on it. This person gone.
What happened?
Ma'am, thanks for coming through. Yeah.
Why I should not have laughed, but when she talked about Starbucks Market and the pickpockets and all, an average Guyanese would laugh at that because it's so. People tell about it all the time.
And that area, they used to call it the Jurassic Park. I don't know if they still call it that these days. Is that it is so historic at the same time and dangerous at the same time that it was called Jurassic Park. But Freddie, let's just conclude quickly on this Alexander and thing.
But people want to talk about their problem, so while we're talking about it,
my conclusion on that.
Yeah, but we just got a minute more.
My conclusion on that is that the electorate have signaled that they want
a new
politicians that are more discursive in nature, that would approach things in.
You're gonna call
in Hey, good evening. You're onto the program.
Turn down your TV or your smartphone.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Good night. Good night.
Yes.
I have a little issue with this rice sector in Essequibo.
Yes, madam.
Yes. These rice farmers, they are planting the crop, right? The rice, and they cut in the rice. When they cut the rice, they take it to the miller. They have to line up there like 2, 3, 4 days to get one load of paddy discharge.
2, 3 days? What we living in? We're living in the 19th century?
I don't know, to get one load of paddy discharge, right? When the paddy they're in the trailer in the sun, right? The paddy start to get damaged.
So what the Rice Producers Association is doing?
Right?
We have to agree. We have to agree.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Yeah, sorry, madam. Sorry.
For the 4 days, when you take into the mill, the paddy, the miller give you low grade for the paddy, right? Low grade you get for the paddy, and then there is not all too. For cut it is a problem. For get a combine to cut the rice is a problem. When you cut the rice now, you carry to the mill there, at the mill in Golden Fleece, Hack Rice Mill. They don't want to give you no kind of price. The price for the government, the agriculture minister, they said that they're going to give you $4,000 bag. They're going to see farmer get $4,000 bag for the paddy. Now they say $3,000 bag they're going to give the farmers them. Which that is not fair, right? Let me show you something. If a farmer plant 100-acre land, right? And they take 3 to 4 days to get one load of paddy discharge. You tell me what will happen to the rest of paddy in the field. Right? The rice farmer really facing a very hard time.
All right,
with
so
the rice
let me say what I heard keep coming from the government. I heard this from the vice president a few months back. He said that in this new term, they are going to build silos for rice. So that a silo is like a big, huge storage barn.
She would know what a silo is.
Huh?
She would know what a silo is.
Right? I'm not sure who's familiar with what, but it's like some big storage barn. And so when you come with your rice, you can offload it immediately. And then the miller will then come to the silo and transport the rice from there, so that there is no delay in offloading. Because I saw what you're saying myself, I didn't know that it takes so many days.
It's horrible.
But right across the river at
that is so wrong.
There's a rice mill at Ramsite across the river here. I saw when it's reaping time, lines upon lines upon lines of trucks and tractor waiting, and I saw it in Essequibo as well when I was there.
Agriculture supposed to be the basis of
but I didn't realize that it took so long. But I hear you. I know at least one of the agriculture ministers personally. I am going to interface with him.
Well, he should know what the lady's talking about.
Yes, so I am just going to let him know that on this call, this occurred. I think solutions are on their way, but they're going to take some time. Because I did hear both the agriculture minister and the vice president spoke of that, and it's going to come.
We got to go. We're 2 minutes over time.
Thanks for
coming. Thanks for coming through.
Okay, all right, good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our operators have to go very far. We are 2 minutes over time. Thanks for being with us. It just goes to show people don't want to talk about politics and parliament. They want to talk about their problems. We will have another Freddie Kissoon show with Leonard Craig on Wednesday, in which two very seasoned politicians give their take on the election results. And it will be interesting to hear what they have to say. On behalf of our hardworking operators, on behalf of Leonard Craig, thanks for being with us. We will see you Wednesday evening. As I normally do, I say to you, catch you later. Bye-bye.